Hello and welcome to our weekly interview with Women's Inspire Network members. I'm so excited to be talking to the Managing Director of Mantrastrategy, Lisa-Nicole Dunne. Lisa-Nicole, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks a million for the chance to chat to you today, Samantha.
Well, you're brilliant. You spoke at our conference, I remember, when we did our online conference, and you gave lots of value. A lot of people commented on the value that you gave. So I just thought it'd be nice to give people a chance to meet the people who are members and what you do and how you can help people, because a lot of people need help at the moment, as you know, with different things. So tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I'm a bit of a mixed bag, really. I suppose what I do now is I really help leaders and brands and organizations to, I suppose, have a bit of clarity and really put purpose and meaning behind what they do. But my background is everything from I worked in automotive, banking, life assurance, a bit on telco. And then I spent a long time in kind of health and social services organizations and overseas development. And both myself and my husband are self-employed. Mine is a new departure. He's been doing it for quite a while. He's a fitness organization. But I've been kind of always leadership, sales, marketing, and more importantly, lately, focusing on culture and, you know, how important that is in creating the right organizational culture, whether you're a tiny business, a family business, or a big, big business, just to make sure people can stay happy and engaged. And I really love that. So that's kind of what we do. We help organizations to do a lot more of that.
It's actually a really good time for you. I think since the pandemic, do you find that it's busier now that more people are coming to you and taking it more seriously?
Yeah, I think, well, obviously, I don't know about the before and after because Mantra started literally in the pandemic. So, and that's why I think being part of Women's Inspire Network was so important at that time, because you're going on that journey. But you're right. The timing is important. People right now, right across the globe, are looking at, am I doing something that matters? Do I want to be doing this? You know, is this right for me? And that whole kind of leaving work or being happy in work is more important than ever. But also our customers really care about being aligned with, affiliated, or buying from organizations that are doing good stuff for the planet, for communities. So it is good timing, and Mantra has done really well, thank goodness. So yeah.
Brilliant. Well done. Yeah, I see you all over the place, and you're driving here, driving there, and meetings here, meetings. It's great though. It's wonderful. Yeah, and what would be the most common challenge that people would come to you for?
Yeah, and I think that's really, really great a question. At the beginning, it was a bit different to now, but really most people come to us when they need either greater clarity on where they're going, what's the big kind of, you know, what's all the work leading to, and they really, you know, they maybe get, you know, lost a little bit along the way. So things can change. They have to be agile. They start doing lots of new things, or they get much bigger. And sometimes that means they forget how to describe their business in a meaningful way. And it's, you know, it's losing its clarity as they go through. But otherwise, sometimes they come to us when they're losing a lot of staff, you know, hemorrhaging staff, or their culture is a bit stuck. So they're, you know, finding negativity has taken over and they've actually struggling to really kind of power through. So it could be like somebody comes to us who runs their own business and they're looking to shape the next 5 years. Or it could be that it's a big charity coming to us and they have to develop a 5-year strategy. But at the core of it, it's always that they're looking for a way to really get that clarity, and their goals stem from there. So yeah, really just more engagement or more clarity. And we might do like a workshop, or we might end up doing a written strategy process where you engage stakeholders. How we do it depends on the size and scale. But most of the time they're coming to us when they're really just a bit confused, or, you know, just a bit stuck.
Right, just a big story. Yeah, but there's a lot of people like that out there, I think, at the moment, which is understandable.
Yeah,
everything that's happened over the past few years. And for someone that is thinking, like, so you said, you know, you're self-employed for like relatively newly self-employed.
yeah.
What would be a piece of advice you would give to someone who's thinking of going out on their own or going out as a consultant like yourself? Any advice for them?
Sure, and definitely learned a few of these the hard way, I'd say, over the last while, but that's
We all
okay.
do.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, look, on a very kind of basic level, I would say, surround yourself by great people and get great advice, whether it's from mentors or, people like, like yourself and myself who walked that kind of journey a little bit. And just get the advice and get input, but also, have a mentor and be accountable, get a good coach, all that good stuff. My main advice would really be like celebrate the little wins along the way.
Yeah.
And perfection is the enemy of progress. So I really think it's important to get crystal clear on why you're doing something or why you're going to start, and what the problem you're trying to solve is. But then I would say just get going. Like big organizations, a lot of them use, or tech organizations use that minimal viable product. And I think we as small business or business owners can take a lot from that. Like it's okay to just get going. Having the basics is enough, because you will adapt and it will change. Like what you start with isn't exactly what you end with, and that's okay.
That's great advice, because that sounds like what the journey I went on too. You could start somewhere totally different and then end up doing something completely like what you never thought you'd end up doing. And you do learn along the way. But I do feel that was really good advice about getting a coach or a mentor, because, I think it's worth investing in yourself and the business to learn how to do the things properly that you're not so good at, because I'm not so good at certain things. And I need to either pay people, outsource to do the stuff I'm no good at and that I hate doing anyway, and just focus on the stuff that you really love doing.
And just to keep clear, I think sometimes, and I have always been lucky enough to have great mentors, formally and informally, like people you knock on their door and go, can I just have a lunch with? I just need to pick your brain. And then others who you might work with for years, like my mentor, Colin Cullen. I think I asked him for 3 lunches, and for 5 years later, he's still giving me a lot of his own time and, keeping me accountable, but also just there for you to bounce things off. And that's amazing. But equally, I think I've always had a coach. I've always worked with a coach. And I would try and whenever I have, even before I started my own business, whenever I had a few bob, definitely worth the investment. And I would always say to people, it's worth continuing that. And there's plenty of them in Women's Inspire Network as well. Plenty of really good people that you can get support with,
That's true. And actually, that brings me to my next question, which is your final question. And actually, I might ask you for I have another question about your favorite coach or something as well. So why did you join Women's Inspire Network?
Yeah, so, well, first of all, I had seen you out and about on Twitter a lot. It was all very much so in the kind of virtual world. Yeah. And so, I mean, I liked what you were doing, and you were promoting a community that is really supportive. And you're going out alone. It is and can be a very lonely journey, but also there are practical things you need. So you need a support circle. And people who don't mind you talking about work, talking shop. It's not what you do at home all the time, or I'd be killed.
And I know exactly what you mean there. But like family and friends, they don't really want to hear about.
They don't. And you need people who you can bounce things around with, but equally who you can just go to if you have a practical, I need a good accountant question. I've got my accountant from Women's Inspire Network. I've got my VA from Women's Inspire Network. I'm working with several of the members to let, them bounce things off me and vice versa. And so it was a bit about connection, and then also the practical side. Like, you will be able to get an answer to something quicker from people who have walked that path. And at the end of the day, sometimes you'll just, I actually also use it for gifting. And so to be able to support back local and know others who are doing stuff. So it's a great network for many things. And you dip in and out. I don't always have the time to attend everything, but when I can, I do. And I think it's okay to do that. You don't have to be at everything.
Yeah, well, that's why online is so powerful, though. If you miss something, you can watch the replay.
Exactly.
So it's really, that's something I always wanted to have in place, so that if you did miss a webinar for whatever reason, because you were actually working and doing meeting or something, it is great. So thank you so much for that. So your biggest, I suppose, your favorite quote or TEDx talk, or have you anything like that?
Actually, I'm regularly talking about Sister Stan. My most inspiring person is definitely Sister Stan. When she started Focus Ireland, she started Young Social Innovators, the Immigrant Council, the Sanctuary. Like, you're like, how can someone do so much? But she's so much wisdom, and I always like what she kind of says, the advice and steer she's always given around kind of things like, you don't give a broken cup to a broken person. And that's about how our services in this country should be much stronger for those in need. And that whole kind of mentality really has influenced the kind of stuff I do. But my favorite quote is positivity breeds positivity breeds positivity. And I think, I don't even know who said it, but I know it's something quoted on all these kind of positive sites. And I agree. It's like, it's so important to just have that positive outlook and try and stay as positive as you can, because, this journey isn't easy every day. But I think positivity can really attract good projects, good clients, good support network to you. So I really like that one as well.
I believe that too. And I believe if you believe as well, and that you kind of maybe just hand it over and say, do you know what's meant for me won't pass me by.
Absolutely. My mother's favorite.
Yeah, exactly.
What's for you won't go by you. And I agree with that. And just trying to keep sunny side up. I was made redundant a few times, and you could easily go down the road of self-reflection and thinking really negatively and whatever. And actually, it was the making of my next chapter each time. And because I kept saying, it's what's meant to be, will be. And so, yeah, it can keep you really grounded.
Well done. That's lovely. And Lisa-Nicole, where can people contact you, or how can they contact you?
They can contact me. Well, I'm Mantrastrategy.ie is our website. And so for any kind of work project, or just even a kind of sounding board call or discussing anything, very welcome to find us there, Mantrastrategy.ie. But I'm on Twitter at Lisa-Nicole Dunne as well.
She's on Twitter.
Oh, and I'm on LinkedIn, of course. And LinkedIn's a big channel for us. So find me on LinkedIn as well. I'm always happy to make new connections.
Okay. And just one more question. I know this is a surprise when you weren't expecting this. But for you, what do you feel is your favorite part of the work that you do?
Oh, yeah. I do really believe that if you're doing something you love, it doesn't feel like work. And for me, work is both a way to express myself and do great projects and learn a lot. So I'm learning, like we're working with the Irish Deaf Society at the moment. I'm learning every single day on that project. It's incredible. So I feel like my work is all great. It's both escapism from the drudgery of some days and the kind of mundane routine. It's variety. But my favorite thing is that I now, as the owner, I'm able to pick and choose the stuff that we really want to work on. And so, that gives you an awful lot of control. And I'm not a control freak. I keep having to say this, but I absolutely love being able to spend my time really wisely. Purpose matters to me. And now I'm able to pick things that are right for me and that are a good fit. And that is that's a real privilege to be able to do. So I really value that. But I'm working with incredible people as well. And my team are amazing, but also all of our clients are amazing. So it's a joy. Thank God.
Yeah, I get that totally. And I think a lot of people will agree with you. Well, thank you so much for your time, Lisa-Nicole. And
thanks for having me.
And have a great week.
Thank you. You too. Cheers.